then you'll never get another passport again. That's what the Homeland Security agent told me because I refused to answer his questions. So I filed a Writ of Mandamus, the legal document that forces the government to act even when they refuse to. 10 months of nothing, then 10 days after filing, my passport showed up. Let me tell you my story. I've been to 37 countries. I've hiked volcanoes. I've gotten lost in night markets. I've eaten things I still can't pronounce. So this year I wanted to try something new. Start the new year in a new country. So in mid-December 2023, I applied for my new passport. I paid the expedited service, I booked my flight, and I made an in-person appointment at the Dallas Passport Agency. It should have been simple. Or what? I should have walked in and walked out with my passport. Instead, I was told there was a flag on my application and to come back in 3 days. 3 days later, same thing. And after that, everything went silent. Weeks passed, months passed, and every time I checked, it said the same thing. Your application is under administrative review. No update, no reason, no progress. After 6 months of calling and checking online, I decided to make another in-person appointment with the passport agency. I sat in the office. I was the last person to be called. Then I was taken back to an office. And out of nowhere, a Homeland Security agent said he wanted to talk to me. Said he needed to ask me some questions about my travel history. He wanted to record the meeting. I'm fine with that as long as I can record too. First, I cooperated. I have nothing to hide. I just travel for fun. But then his tone changed. He started asking me why I traveled to certain places. Then his questions got a little more personal than I was willing to deal with. That's where I drew the line. Told him politely, I'm not obligated to answer any of your questions. And because of my refusal, the interview abruptly ended. I asked, what about my passport? That's why I'm here. He said, do you want to answer my questions? I said, no. And he replied, then you'll never get another passport again. And just like that, my freedom to leave the country was gone. What do? I had no idea. It had already been 7 months since the start of my application. So I hired an attorney, paid $1,500 retainer. She said she was gonna make a few calls, send a letter out and see what was going on. She contacted the agent and she called me back. She let me know how rude he was, how short he was, and how he refused to give her any reason for the delay. And when she asked how long could this take, he said, as long as I want. This matter is under my investigation. She told me plainly, he has the power to keep you in limbo. That's when it hit me. They could keep me grounded indefinitely. I asked her for some suggestions. She said, why don't you contact your congressman? So I reached out to my congressman's office. They were polite, but powerless. They said they could only make an inquiry and that every reply came back the same. His application is under review. Google led me to an immigration attorney. And yes, that's what you have to do, even if your family has been here since the beginning of the founding of this country. Because immigration attorneys specialize in passports, visas, and citizenship issues. I talked to that attorney and she said, yeah, we can help you. It'll be $5,000 to start, just to file a complaint. I said, well, what happens if the judge denies the motion? She said, oh, that's easy. It'll be another $5,000 to go to court. $10,000 just to ask for my own passport. That's when I decided if they can file a case, so can I. Before I go any further, let me explain something important because most people don't even know this exists. What I filed wasn't a lawsuit. It was a writ of mandamus. A writ of mandamus is a legal order for you to file in federal court to force the government agency to do something they legally required to do, but refuse to do. Delay, do, or hide behind some administrative review forever. And here's the key. A mandamus doesn't ask for money. It doesn't ask for damages. It simply demands actions. The State Department has a legal duty to process passport applications within a reasonable time. And 10 months is not reasonable. Why does a mandamus work? 1, it forces the government to respond. It can't ignore you once the court get involved. Number 2, it exposes the delay. See, they must justify in writing why your case is stuck, and they usually don't want to do that. Number 3 is fast. Most mandamus cases settle before the judge even rules on it. 4, affordable. I filed mine for $450, a fraction of what the lawyer was charging. I didn't sue the government for money. I filed a mandamus to force them to do the job they were supposed to do in the first place. I said to myself, with some research and a little help from ChatGPT, I think I can do this. So I spent days learning federal protocol, how to write a complaint, and how to serve the United States government properly. I filed it. Mitchell versus Blinkton, my mandamus action. My total cost, $450. That's it. I mailed all 3 copies, one to the Secretary of State in DC, one to the United States Attorney in Texas, and one to the Attorney General. I tracked the package like my life depended on it. A few weeks later, email arrived. Kevin McClendon, Assistant U.S. Attorney for the Eastern District of Texas. He wasn't hostile. Actually, he was probably the best professional and the first person who seemed like they actually cared about the outcome. He told me we could resolve this without even going to court. He instructed me to send 2 new passport photos to the Dallas Passport Agency and then mail him with a tracking number. Well, I sent him. I did it that day. Tracked it. I emailed him the receipt and then I waited. I just knew something was going to go wrong. That was on a Thursday. My photos arrived to the passport agency on a Friday. On Monday, the U.S. Attorney emailed me and said, your passport has been sent. On Tuesday, I opened my mailbox and there it was. A brand new passport book and passport card. After 10 months of waiting, it took 10 days after filing the lawsuit. 10! I always thought I had the right to remain silent, the right to travel, the right to leave my own country. It turns out those rights can be paused just by some paperwork or by a person's opinion. But I learned something. This is still America.
This is America.
You don't always need money, connections. Sometimes you just need some patience, some persistence, and a good printer. I didn't sue for money. I sued for movement, for freedom, for the right to keep chasing the world. 37 countries down, passport renewed, and lesson learned. Never let anyone tell you where you can't go, especially when you're born free to explore the world. Stay sharp, stay strong, stay fearless.